Right, welcome everybody to our planning recommendation meeting. Yeah, straight into the agenda then. To receive and consider for acceptance apologies for absence from members of the council.
Only apologies is from Stephen Meadows due to work commitment.
Excellent. Right, okay, moving on to two. To receive any declarations of disclosable pecuniary interests or non-registrable interests by members of the clerk, and to consider any requests for dispensation. No? No for everybody, I think. Okay, number three, to receive 3A questions or comments from members of the public regarding items on the agenda. Do we have any members of the public?
Just Christian, but he's the architect. So.
Okay. Okay, I'll move on from that then. B, representations from any member who has declared a personal interest.
None.
No, excellent. Well, this is going very well so far. Right, item number 4, to review planning application reference 22/01148/FUL for St Mary's Church.
Okay, so what do you want me to do? Do you want to let Christian tell us about the plans?
Yeah, I think that would be a good start. Yeah.
Welcome,
okay.
Christian.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me along to your meeting. I'll try and be as brief as I can. Am I okay just to carry on and explain the idea behind the proposal?
Yep.
The church, long term, the church plans to put in a toilet, an accessible toilet, just something quite modest. As part of that, obviously, at the moment, the church is not very accessible. From the lane, which comes off, Church Street, isn't it? Church Road. There's a 3-meter difference between the inside of the church and the lane where you normally, you normally go up the footpath. So it's certainly not accessible at the moment. However, obviously, there's such a short distance between that lane and the church that you can't simply just ramp it up. And effectively, that's what we've got at the moment. We've got a strip of concrete, we've got a few steps, and we were looking at a way that we could overcome that by providing level access for a wheelchair and those who might struggle. We looked at alternate routes onto the site, such as in the southeast corner. However, there's nowhere to pull over, there's no footpath to access the site, and it would create a really long route to go from the southeast corner all the way to the front entrance of the church. So I think the entrance, the position we've chosen makes logical sense. It is the main entrance of the church, and the way we've overcome the height difference is to create this loop footpath which goes up the churchyard to the east. There are no burials that we know of, and if we do come across any, well, hopefully they'll be 6 foot down. And we would deal with them in the normal way. So I don't think burials are a problem. We don't know of any. It's a typical thing with churches. I work with a lot of churches, so that kind of element it comes up as a question, but it's something we can easily deal with. So basically, we're overcoming the big difference by creating a very long path, and we've got an alternative stepped route. It's normally recommended that not only do you provide a ramp, but a stepped route as well. Not everyone finds a long ramp an easier route. And so that's kind of the basic idea really here. So I'll stop there because I can keep talking, but do you want to ask me any questions or anything like that? So,
has everybody had a chance to have a look at the plans? Yeah, I mean, I've had a look at it. I haven't got any objections. I mean, I've pushed a buggy up there a number of times for christenings and things like that. So I think the ramps is a great idea. Yeah, I'm happy with everything on there. Is everybody else?
Mark's got his hand up.
Oh, okay. Oh, we can't hear you, Mark.
Hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's too many clicky buttons. Yeah, I had a bit of problem accessing the PDF document, so it's my fault. Hands up. Just to get an idea of visually how will it look, and it was only walking through the church this afternoon. I stood and had a good look because, of course, we've got a big wall going across the front. So does this propose getting up that first initial step into the churchyard or is it right the way up to the church entrance?
Do you want me to share the screen?
Well, if you could, Fen, I think that would help. It certainly helped me just to see the thing in entirety.
Thank you very much. That's really helpful. So where it says steps removed, at the moment, I don't know if you remember, there's some concrete steps there at the moment.
Yeah.
We would, obviously that's a hindrance to anyone in a wheelchair for a start. So they really have to go. And we would have a kind of compact gravel, resin bound gravel pathway. So it's kind of a buff colour, you know, looks quite gravelly, hopefully looks quite natural, very common type of pathway that you would have. And that would be a slope from where it says step removed all the way up to the steps. And then alternately, you've got your ramped route that would go off to the east. And so it would be this kind of gravelly buff surface. The path there at the moment is kind of a compact gravel, I'm not sure what, shingly path. It's fine, but I think in terms of wheeled access, you really need something a bit firmer. And that's why I've suggested resin bound. It's self-draining, it looks kind of natural, and it's a really hardy path. And that would go up the line of the wall. I think we'd probably have to underpin the wall a bit. The wall is actually a little bit wobbly. So we would have to do a bit of underpinning to that, but I don't, it will look exactly the same. And the pillars either side of the gate, we would have to extend downwards, because by removing the steps, we'd be effectively lowering the ground level. And I've shown that on one of my drawings that I've submitted. Again, we would do it to match. Yeah, that's right, thank you. So yeah, we'd extend those pillars down, matching brickwork. So hopefully they would look like they've always been like that, would be the aim.
Thanks, Christian, that's clear, thanks.
Excellent. Has anybody else got?
Can I ask a question? I see that there's low power LED lights around the path. Are they on through a switch button, or are they solar powered, or were they on all the time?
They wouldn't be on all the time. I think they could be movement sensor, but I think probably they would have to be switched on by the church or on a timer. I realise that could be a sensitive issue, so we could certainly, accommodate whatever, if that was a problem, we could have them set to a certain time, or, I'm sure they could be solar powered if you wanted. We're pretty open on that one, really. It was really indicating that I think we need some kind of light along that path. What I've done before in other churches is bollard, kind of low level bollard lights. So they're nothing, they're fairly subtle. And you tend to dot them every, 8 meters or so. So there would be just a number of lights highlighting the path.
Okay. Sorry, I only asked that just from the sort of dark skies initiative that we're sort of signed up to.
Okay.
As we're in the NAONB, that's sort of one of our objectives, really, to maintain the dark skies.
Well, yeah, like I say, I think we're flexible on that, so I'm sure we can tie in with whatever requirements are needed on that.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Does anybody else have any comments at all? Okay. So, Fen, do we have to vote on this to say if we? Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
It's support or object. And whether or not you want me to add any comments to the parish observation sheet.
Well, I think we need to add that one that you were mentioning about the lights, and obviously making sure that, as you say, we keep our dark skies, etc. So that's definitely a comment to add. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, sorry, Fen, go on.
And hands up for those of you who are in support of this planning application.
Yeah. Real hands, Fen.
Real hands, please. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. Or anybody against this application? Brilliant. So 0 all in favour, and with just a small comment of just for consideration with the dark skies. Does that sound okay for you?
Yeah, good.
Brilliant.
Good.
Thanks, Christian.
Thank you very much.
You don't need to stay now. You can leave.
All right. Thank you very much. Nice to see you.
Nice
Bye.
to meet you. Bye.
Bye.
Just to pick up on the dark skies thing, Fen. I mean, we just need to be mindful that we can't sort of go for wanting dark skies and then for several months of the year be lighting up the candle like a lighting up the church like a candle, if you see what I mean.
Yes. I think my thinking behind that was coming from whether they'd be on all the time at night. Whereas when we light the church up and people pay money to do that, it's a set hour, isn't it, for donations? But I was just concerned if they were going to flash on and off at 3 in the morning when someone walks their dog.
Well, could have it as a money spinner and ask people to sponsor the pathway lights as well.
Yeah. But like our courtesy lights, a timer would be useful where they come on at dusk and go off at sort of midnight, just to light the way when people could be walking about, but not on permanently. Okay, fab, thank you.
Right, okay then, excellent. So moving on to item 5, to review a planning application for 17 Churchside for a single-storey rear extension. Has everybody looked at this?
No, which one's this one, Mike? I'm just
So it's Churchside, number 17. Now, a couple of years ago, we did approve an original application. And they were extending out to the side over the garage. But what with the pandemic and building materials, I think it all came to a bit of a grinding halt. And this replacement really has come on in. And if you look at the plans, it seems that, shall I just share? Because I'm looking at it now. Bear with me.
Easier, yeah.
Rather than, should be able to see that now. So originally they were coming out here over this garage section, but that's now been retained. And instead there's sort of a long extension along the back. So kind of, and what they're doing, the porch, this bit here is new, because actually their front door is actually tucked around, so it doesn't face the road. As you go down the driveway, you go down sort of towards that window, and then you have to turn right to knock on the front door. So they're obviously switching the front door around. I'm just wondering if I could show you the plans. They're not massively helpful in terms of what we're looking at. What's that one? Is it that one? Let me just see if it's that one. Yeah, they're all pretty much of a muchness. Has anyone got any thoughts?
Well, it doesn't seem that the footprint's changed really.
No. So yeah, here you go. This is what I was talking about. So this is how you go in normally. You sort of go down the driveway and you scooch into the right into the porch. And what they're trying to do now is, sorry, I know I'm flicking around the screens. There, you just go straight in from the road down their driveway.
I mean, in the context of the previous one and accessibility, the move of a front door to the actual front would assist with accessibility overall, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so there's no awkward right angles to get round.
Yeah.
I suppose as well, from our perspective, because they're not going above the garage anymore, actually sort of what the house looks like from the road at the moment isn't really changing very drastically. So we're not losing that sort of expanse of free air, as it were, just the sort of position of the front door, which I think looks much more attractive.
Yeah. And there's no objections from any of the neighbours or anything like that, are there? So
nothing's come through to me, and looking at the documents, nothing's been uploaded to the portal. And last time we had a planning meeting for 17 Churchside, there were no objections from any neighbours either.
Well, it's, again, from what I've seen, it seems okay. I can't see any major issues with it. So unless anybody else, does anybody else have any comments to make? Or
I've not got any objections.
Should we vote on it then, Fen?
Yep, hands up to support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And any objectors? 0. All in favour. Fantastic.
Okay, excellent. Item 6 then, to receive any further questions or comments from the members of the public.
None.
No. Okay. Excellent. Is there anything else we need to talk about, Fen, or are we okay?
No, just obviously I'm aware that you haven't got the draft minutes for the annual meeting yet. I do have a 1 month window, which is in legislation, so I'm not panicking too much. But I'm not being idle. I'm doing an awful lot of Jubilee stuff, which is taking up some of my hours. So yeah, I just haven't had the time to focus and sit down and type them up. But I have submitted the AGAR to the external auditors. We're up to date with banking. And while I've got two of you on, there's 2 items to be approved on the bank. It's our annual BAUC and NAUC and HAUC gubbins to be renewed. And also the invoice for the communicator, issue 109, which is currently at my house because it's being delivered tomorrow. So if Andrew and Mike can hop on and just click yes, that would be fantastic.
Okay, I'll do that now after this meeting. So
Thank you. Has anyone else got anything that they can think of? Oh, Mark and Dom, I'd like a mugshot of you if possible, a nice photo of your face.
I can't guarantee a nice one. You'll just get what you'll get, Fen.
So if you could just email that over to me, it's part of our transparency regulations for the website. People are supposed to be able to visually be able to identify their councillor, and they do that by going onto our website. So that'd be really handy. Thank you for your forms. They've been sent to the monitoring officer and are on our website. So yeah, I've just been sort of ticking off all the urgent things, but it's just the minutes. They're just waiting in the wings, so bear with me.
I'm sure you'll get on top of it, Fen. You're always very good at it, so I'm sure you'll be fine.
Thank you.
Lovely. Okay, right. Well, meeting ends. Look at that. 18 minutes past 7. Very good.
Well done, Chair.
Marvellous.
Yeah, good
Right.
job, Chair.
Yeah, thank you. Right, okay, people. Well, have a good evening and see you all soon.
See you
Brilliant.
soon.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Okay.